All right, let's see if we're up and running. I'm going to check my signal here real quick to see where we are at. I'll go through my intro and origin story, and then we'll get some artwork done tonight. So checking in on my signal here. Sounds like I'm coming through. So checking in. Yeah, signal here sounds like I'm coming through. Yep, that sounds good. Okay, cool. So mic check worked. I'm going to grab the link here and post on the social medias. And give me a hot second here. I'll do an intro thing and origin story stuff, and then we'll get kicking. So clickety 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 clack clack clack. Hey, okay, great. So hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish online. I've been running D&D games since 1987. I've been building stuff on DMsGuild since 2017, and back in March we created the cover that you can see here on screen right now, Spelljammer Combat and Exploration. So I got Spelljammer back in 89, and then I picked up, and then I started doing 5e content. But once Spelljammer was in my hands, it was pretty much always in my hands. It's always been around in my campaigns, and I really love that. So Wizards put out the 2022 book for Spelljammer's Adventures in Space. That was in August. Jeez, that was almost 2 years ago now. And so when we saw that, the royal we, of course, I think the majority of us expected there to be some sort of ship combat rules in that book, and that was the biggest disappointment, that there wasn't, as well as like not any real in-depth rules about like navigating the astral sea, or like how to build wild space systems, like how all that spaceship stuff works. So that was the sort of inspiration for the book you have here, Spelljammer Combat and Exploration. It is currently live on DMsGuild. Here, let me flip this over here real quick to background. Here we go. All right, cool. So, hey, I'm on the X-Twitter platform at Phil Kearney if you want to get links and stuff with me in the future. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications when live in the future. Here is the full playlist of all 388 episodes since us cracking open the August 22 book for Spelljammer's Adventures in Space that Wizards put out for 5th edition up through now. So we built the entire book. It's 107 pages. It's got a 25-page adventure guide for converting Light as Araxis, the adventure that came with Adventures in Space, like the only campaign we're ever going to get from Wizards of the Coast about Spelljammer. And then integrated all of these mechanics so that you could use Light as Araxis to learn how to use these mechanic systems if you want. And so that book is, where is that at? Yeah, here you go. It's on Spelljammer. Here it is, DMsGuild. So you can check that out if you want to. It's on its way to a Electrum status. I'm happy about that. But yeah, check out the whole book. So if you think it's cool, it's got 120 maps and assets and stuff that come along with it if you buy it. And there's a coupon for it right here. So here as well, there's a coupon. Everything's on sale right now, and here's a 25% coupon. So jump after if you're interested. Included in those rules was fleet mechanics. So we built, I think it was 3 separate squadron and fleet battles in the Light as Araxis adventure to kind of change the narrative on stuff. And we wanted to include another fleet battle in the spoiler alerts, the third part of the adventure. So currently what we're doing is we've already built the cloud cover here, which are concealing areas that here you can see it's a separate. These are separate tokens, basically like little terrain stickers that we can put down that mesh over the background terrain that we have. And here is the 500-foot grid. Here's the size of Vocath's ship inside of that 500-foot scale. Let's get him centered up. There you go, buddy. And you put an air bubble around him. We'll get to that. And then we have all our allies that have ships as well. I think they're all concealed right now. There we go. 500-foot scale. So these are squadrons of ships that your allies are with, and then as we dive deeper into those, can see the 50-foot scale. Here's the 50-foot scale for Vocath's machine. So it occupies a 10 by 10 space. Let's see if I have this sitting pretty. Oh yeah, there's a lot of lockdown layers there. And let's see. So Vocath Lab, and then we have the allies with their squadrons, and then blip, blip, blip. Here we go. Here's the squadrons at the 50-foot scale. We got 3 ships in this squadron, 2 ships in this squadron, and 2 ships in this squadron. Plus we have Vocath's Crab against the 3 Starmoth squadrons that the team is going to be scrapping with, which are here. 4 ships in a squadron, and then here they are at the 500-foot scale. Each one of these ships represents one of these squadrons. So at the 50-foot, this is a 500-foot scale, a single Starmoth. At the 50-foot scale, a 10 by 10 grid equals 1 500-foot square. And so the when we zoom in to the 50-foot scale, we have this 10 by 10 plate, basically. That the here I'm going to put down just a base color here with a square. Here, this is a 10 by 10 area, and at the 50-foot scale, a 10 by 10 space is a 500-foot square. So we can scale up in magnitudes of 10 from, or down in magnitudes of 10, up from the 5-foot scale to the 50-foot scale to the 500-foot scale, and combat remains unchanged as far as action economy and resource use that your characters have available to them. The difference is that the scale of combat that they're operating at is, instead of the 5-foot scale, like say riding on the back of a horse, you're now at the 500-foot scale where your whole team is riding aboard a giant Starmoth. At the 50-foot scale, we have fighter craft like warbirds, spiderlings, cuttlefish, blades, mantas, all sorts of different theme ships. And then we're also building the Mecha Combat book, which instead of all the ships being animal themed, they're humanoid shapes, and so they have hands that can grab giant sized weapons and armor and shields and stuff. So you can do like actual mecha combat. And the best thing for mecha combat to fight are kaiju. So we're making a mecha and kaiju book using these scaling combat mechanics. There's already various adventurers in D&D that can make use of this stuff, like a Descent to the Avernus can use it. The Storm King's Thunder can use mecha combat stuff in it. The Greenest and Flames, we have the mass combat mechanics for Greenest and Flames, but that's another adventure that makes use of larger scale with like the Dragon Cult army that's on the march, for example. Anyway, so we're making a base plate right now. Basically, we're just taking since we don't know what square the team would be in when they would potentially be zoomed in to one of these. Here, let's set these up a little bit more prettily there and have them fit in their squares respectively. There you go. So they're on an intercept course over here to where Vocath is at. The size of a squadron occupying a 500-foot square, and with multiple of them working together as a single fleet, they can read kind of as like the same object. Like this many objects in close proximity would just read as an object larger than 500 feet but smaller than a mile, which means the orrery scan systems that we have for detecting objects in the book would pick them up about 10 minutes for them to get there. So when the team starts, they're going to be battling monsters in the arena on Vocath's base. And so they're in the middle of a fight. Word gets out that there's a fleet of Starmoths incoming. What do you guys want to do about it? And then the team, again, ends fighting monsters in the arena, hops out, gets in their ship, and then leads a battle against the Starmoths with all of the ships that are there. There's 9 ships, including Vocath's base, the 9 ships that are present. And fight the Star Moths. If you're successful in fighting the Star Moths, if you fail the battle, the Star Moths show up and throw their weight around in a social confrontation as they normally would. Just this time they've already proven we'll destroy your ships if you fuck with us, so don't. If you win the fight, they run off, and now all the warlord allies that, or all the warlords that are there for you to impress are now impressed. And anyone that lost a ship, Vocath can get a replacement for while he calls in for reinforcements. And now you owe Vocath a favor because you're basically buying ships for these warlords. So you're in debt to the warlords and you're in debt to Vocath. It's an excuse for you to have further adventures leading out of Lidas Araxis into what do we do next? Like, well, you can start paying off your tab in Vocath. Here's some fun ways how, and we can start laying out some adventure seeds for people to play around with. So right now, when they close distance, when you get in combat, the whole thing could be resolved at the squadron scale, a fleet versus fleet, at the 500-foot scale. But if the team wants to close distance and get surly with creatures directly, then we want to have. Hold on, I'm going to see. Here, free transform. I need to make it visible. Free transform. There's nothing. Okay, cool. So we're making a base plate. These base plates are they're just basically they delineate the 10 by 10 grid that this squadron sits inside of. A squadron occupies a 500-foot square, 10 by 10 space, and however many ships you can cram into there is the amount of ships that you have in your squadron. But they cap at 10 squares. It's like this Star Moth occupies a 4x4 space, so that's a 4-square ship. All 4 of them occupy 4 square spaces, a total of 16 squares. But a squadron mechanically caps at 10 squares. So 2 of these ships is an 8x8 space, a 4x4 and a 4x4 is basically a 8-square squadron. So if you want to have a 3rd ship, you're going to be larger than a single squadron. So it'd be a squadron plus this extra ship. So the reason why we cap it at 10 is because the amount of damage dice that you roll is based on the size of your squadron, the space that your squadron occupies. So this 4x4 and this 4x4 and a squadron together rolls 8 damage dice. Like at this scale, it would be with these ships. I know for a fact they roll d6s because they're 2nd rank crew. So rank of crew is from 1 being novice nobodies up to 5 being effectively like 17th level crewmen. That's that scale of 1 to 5, and they go from d4, d6, d8, d10, d12 damage dice. So 8d at the second rank, 8d6, and then it's siege damage, so it's times 10. So it's 8d6 times 10 damage that each one of these fleets deals, and squadrons in the fleet. And there's a total of there's a total of 6 of these fleets. So there's 6 fleets that can deal 8d6 damage on a full volley, but they can only basically do that essentially once per round. So we're basically going to be playing rocket tag at a really high level. And the way that the team themselves can survive that is by zooming in to the 50-foot scale and engaging ships on individual combat so that you can slow the rate of combat down. So high level, like high damage fleet damage battles are being exchanged between the fleets, the squadrons that your characters aren't in, and then you can control your ship at an individual action economy so that you can evade most of the damage. Or if you want to, you can just operate at the fleet level and not worry about zooming in at all, and just there you go. So you can work at these 2 different scales as you please. So I want to have some base plates for us to be able to define the best way to conduct this fleet battle is to have one fleet click next to another fleet when they're adjacent to each other at the 500-foot scale. When they click together at the 500-foot scale, it's like entering somebody else's space. You can zoom into the 50-foot scale and have a 10 by 10 next to a 10 by 10. And so these two units click together, because if you move more than 500 feet apart from each other, you don't need to be on a continuously growing 50-foot scale map. You can just zoom out to the 500-foot scale at this scale again. And just because you're going to be engaging with each other at ranged combat at that range anyway, because you're not close enough to deal melee damage. So you're only using ranged combat, you may as well just operate at a greater than melee range scale, which is the 50-foot scale, or the 500-foot scale. Ships can engage each other with ship melee weapons, like this is a piercing ram. Like the Vocath battle crab has piercing rams with its legs, can stab holes and stuff as melee attacks, and it also has the grappling claws, so it can grab hold and grapple a ship, basically automatically deal crushing damage. So if a pincer crab can grab a ship, it can grab it and deal a couple, like maybe 200 points of damage when it hits. It's going to do 1d. It's going to do 2d12 times 100 damage because of the size of the vessel with a melee weapon attack. It's a single ship, so it's going to do 2d12 times 100 damage. So that's going to be probably like around 120 some odd damage that's going to deal. And then each following round, it deals d12 damage times 10 again. So all it has to do is grab a star moth, one claw each. It has them grappled. They'll have to break free of the grapple to be able to escape. Otherwise, they're just getting crushed each round, and you don't actually have to devote any further attacks until they break free of the claw grabs. You just automatically eventually snap the ships in half, and then they stop flying. You can stab ships with the pincer with these stabby claw legs. They do 2d12 times 10, 2d12 times 10 damage, so on average 120 damage per hit. These star moths have 400 hit points a pop. So with 2 or 3 hits per round, you can drop a single star moth. Each fleet, these squadrons can exchange fire and basically destroy each other if you don't use reactions to deflect or reduce damage that's incoming to your ships. Let's see. All you have to do is destroy 2 squadrons, and then the 3rd squadron, where Prince Zelif is at, will just automatically flees to protect himself. After you destroy 1 squadron, the DM can decide if it's a completely unfair fight, then the elves can just bug out right away. That reduces the amount of casualties your team takes. If you have a really good surprise round and impact them, they'll attempt to run. You can try to gun down another fleet on the way out, and then Prince Zelif will escape. That proves your power, so that the fleet will follow you to go attack for you to go attack the elves instead of them attacking us. So the base plate that we're going to paint, just going to grab some colors off of the surrounding palette and just do a smudge job. Just do some paint color blending, basically. Just make a little space. So I'm going to conceal all that for now. Let's fold up the allies. I'm going to label this base plate 1. So we want to have base plate 2, base plates. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need 7 of these, and there's basically going to just be some paint smudge. So we already have the base color underneath. I can conceal the Star Moth Squadron. I'm just basically doing some Bob Ross clouds, essentially. But if you're doing a black and white, like if you're just printing stuff out for your table, then it's just a black grid. You don't need to have any fancy background illustration. It's just I'm just painting. I'm just painting and talking shop and spending this time to think about how the battle is going to go and how to narrate it, because we're going to playtest the battle after I get done with this stuff. These plates, the base plates, are not a requirement at all. It's just me doing artwork. Just having some fun. I want to unwind a little bit. This is some zero brain time for me, just to be able to toss, just to push some pixels around, basically. Let's hide allies and cloud cover. There. And so once I complete this, all of the assets that we need for the encounter will be completed. And that means when we come back on, we're back on Thursday. That's right. When we come back on Thursday, we'll be able to begin building out the stat sheets for the ships and the squadrons, and maybe run a sample battle here just on our own to see how fair of a fight is it, or how difficult will it be, and then start thinking about some different tactics, so that I feel practiced and I know how to conduct the battle, because there's a decent chance that whoever ends up helping me playtest this thing isn't going to be intimately familiar with the squadron mechanics that we have. So I want to take a little time to practice this out, and I may as well do it on screen. So, cheers. Starting next Monday, I do not intend to be here on stream. We'll be playtesting the Martial Powers, the Martial Power system that I've been streaming on Tuesdays and Fridays for the past year. So third and fourth playtesting went really well. That was in April into May. And now we've done revisions. We've seen some updated stuff from 2024 player handbook. So we have the opportunity now to update the mechanics, get rid of some of the speed bumps, and run it again. This time with a higher level, with more resources available, just to get a better sense of the feel for when you have more action economy available to exchange for mana, and what kind of characters we can build with second rank, with access to second rank powers, and see what kind of cool shit we can build. And it's highly tactical stuff with a lot of precise decision making and battlefield creature interactions. So I suspect it's going to take. It could take. You could get less actions per round for free mana, so you can do less every round more often, or you can have a highly complicated round of combat that's burning a lot of mana in the process and not do a lot of those, and then end up reverting back to the basic D&D stuff in general. But then there's also the weapon masteries that you could opt into if you want to learn them, and then the combat masteries for your weapons. So that is all available in the playtesting as well, which is going to be added burden. So it hopefully will have some fun encounters set up that make use of like forced movement and lots of opportunity attacks, to see that added level of complexity potentially finish off combat quicker. So that you're actually, the combat round is longer, but the amount of rounds of battle is shorter, so it's kind of a wash. But one of my goals in the playtest is to have all non-boss fights last 3 or less rounds, and for it to be interesting enough to hold your attention for that duration. I don't like how the gear shifts in 5e in general, like D&D specifically. It's not necessarily a 5e requirement. It's just the shift in action economy. You really feel like you're shifting a gear. I like I really enjoy one action systems. Like you have movement plus one action. Like that's it, and no reactions, nothing, no bonus actions. Very simple, and like a Numenera style or Beckney style system, where combat is as fast as just normal exploration decision making, and I think that's really where the sweet spot of for me for like really narrative gameplay is at. And I readily admit Dungeons and Dragons is not that. I do enjoy in Dungeons and Dragons the action economy for atypical combat. Like if we're leaning into combat as the focus of the system, then yeah, having more intense, having that gear shift feels good because you're leaning into special maneuvers and stuff. It just depends on whether you have special maneuvers or not, I guess. I'm kind of talking out of pocket right now, don't mind me. Just kind of rambling a little bit just to let the language flow as we push pixels around here. This one's almost done. There, I'm going to add the star mobs back in. Yeah, they stand out pretty good against that. So that's decent contrast. And let's get our allies out here. Erpsiter. Why are you not? There you are. See, you could obviously have a lot more space. Like you could have all of these ships flying together, and well, practically have them all sitting in the same space together, and you can command them all at once at the same time. And then break up the action economy into smaller actions. 1, 2, 3, that there. Has its own, and I need to scooch this dude over. Yeah, that's right. So all these could be in the same space as squadrons in tight formation. That's what you would call it. If you only have like these two ships, like these three ships occupying this 500-foot space, you could spread them out very nicely. Like you can have lots of room between all these, like this guy right over here, and this one here, and this one here. Like you can have them really spread out, and lots of room for maneuvering if you wanted to. Or you pack them in tightly into a tight formation, so you have multiple squadrons occupying the same 500-foot square. You can operate all of them together. You can fire all of their weapons all at once at the same time. 6, 12, 15, 19. So that'd be 19. At this level, it'd be D6s, so it'd be 19 D6 times 10 damage that you would be dealing. That's a lot. Or if you wanted to simplify it, D6 times 200, basically. Or 2D6 times 100. You can break up the dice so you can mix them around, whatever makes it the most convenient for you to play. But if this entire squadron was all in tight formation, hiding in the clouds, and they fired a single barrage against one of the squadrons, then they would be able to do on average 600 damage. So would that be right? It'd be D6 times 200. So it would be, or 2D6 times 100. 2D6, that'd be 600 on average. Yeah, on average it'd be 600 damage that would deal as a single opening barrage, which would definitely destroy one it would be enough to destroy one of the single star moths. Each of the star moths has 400 hit points, and then from there you break up the action economy. One character can reload this squadron with an action. Another character can reload this squadron with an action, and another character can reload this squadron with an action. And then since you guys are 7th level when you're doing this, like if the fighter is the squadron commander, character B could reload this. Fire all weapons. You do so. Character B reloads, character C reloads, character D reloads. Fighter fires another full barrage for another 19d6 damage times 10, which would take out another Star Moth in the opening barrage. And then those characters could use their reaction. They already used their action to reload. They can use their reaction to reload, or they could use their their reactions and their bonus actions and leave their standard actions open to fire a barrage themselves individually, since the fighter's already exhausted his 2 attacks. Then your own characters can use their own attack actions to fire per squadron against the squadron, and or you could cast amplified spells, or you could move your ship. Like if you're hiding in the cloud banks, as it were, you're jumping out of the cloud bank, firing a barrage, dropping back, hiding back into the shadow, repositioning yourself, popping back out and firing, and then concealing into the shadow, into the clouds again, and moving again, so the enemies don't know exactly where you're at. And meanwhile, the tank Vocath is just out in the open, and it's just gonna barrel into everything, pop a hole through one of the ships with a laser right away, and then they'll start grappling them. So that's gonna tie up an entire squadron. And then your team can attack another squadron, and between the two of you, you should be able to tear 2 squadrons apart with some losses, probably losing some ships. I'll be surprised if you don't lose any, but if you lose 3 or less ships, I think you're doing pretty good out of the 8 that you have. So there you go. Anyway, that's the idea. So we just completed. So now we got our comparisons here, so we can see. For visibility, can you see the ships in the background if these are maps that you're if these are backgrounds that the character's going to use. So cloud cover, right? Star Moths, allies. So Star Moths are obviously easy to see. Everything on the allies seem easy to see, so that's a good base plate. So we can be finished with this one. We'll go to this one. Duplicate that layer. Base plate 3. There. Let's grab the background real quick just to see what we're looking at. Let's grab that. But yeah, I expect some ships to get lost. I just don't know how many get lost. So we're going to run some math for a while, see how stuff plays out. So that way we have some suggestions on how the DM can conduct the battle. Oh, and we've been building those subclasses. People could play test using the subclasses if they wanted to. That'd be fun. Maybe I can get people to do that too. Make some pre-gen characters using the stuff that we built. That'd be fucking fun. All right, get out of here. plan is, it's been a half hour. My plan is 2 hours or finishing the 7 base plates, whichever comes first. And then I'm going to drop out. I finished the background, the alternate plot hooks and encounters for the Eberron adventure that we've been creating. So next, I get to write a little DM's guide on how to blend those things together, and that's the next thing that I have on my plate of like things to do. There's an oddness to the top of my screen. That makes sense. Let's do that. There we go. Sorry, futzing with my screen. Yeah, that looks pretty good. My background is off center. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know what's up with that. I'll have to figure out what's going on. Not a big issue right now. But yeah, I got my camera working again, so it was a sort of software clash that was going on with Skype software and the ChromaCam applications for the Logitech camera that I use. I use a Logitech C922. It's a pretty good piece of machinery. It comes with pretty good effects software, and but there was a weird bug that cropped up apparently, and it took me a couple days to figure out exactly what was going wrong with my stuff. So I got it fixed. Yay, the internet! And so we sally forward. Allies, very easily viewed. Some enemies, very easy to view. Okay, cool. That one's good. Duplicate this. See, these aren't very hard to do. I'll get them done. Maybe we'll do some Eberron stuff tonight. That'd be a change of pace. Maybe we'll actually work on that document a little bit. Show you guys what I'm doing. I kind of like that idea. Maybe that'd be fun. We'll see. We'll see what my timing looks like. We have time for it. I'll be back on in the morning. Okay, so here's my schedule. Monday through Friday, I stream artwork for the Eberron adventure that I've been creating. We're finishing up the regional terrain maps. Right now we're in the forest, so we're just making some. Right now we're making a forest clearing for camping. We're going to make another one. There's an encounter called Up a Tree where some NPCs are trying to stay awake while they're in this tree, while undead are basically camping them and waiting for them to fall out of the tree so they can eat them. One of them already accidentally fell out of the tree when they got too sleepy, and he died right away. So they're terrified. So the team shows up and rescues them, and they're like, "Oh, thank you so much. Here's some information to help you move on to your next, to the next waypoint." And la-di-da. But that one specifically, depending on what your plot hook, which plot hook you're using, who's in the tree is going to change. Sometimes it's like some lumberjacks. Other times, it's scouts, like sheriff scouts. Another time it's infiltrating assassins. Another time it's some local villagers who don't know that their entire town has been killed, but you do. Stuff like that. So some fun little role-playing moments, and they provide you with a little bit of information. Like, yeah, I know what's up the way. Depending on which plot hook you use, your character knows information already going in. So the amount of information that the characters need in the forest before they get to the manifest zone strictly depends on what the adventure is. So if your characters start off as cleaning crews going in there to eliminate the necromancers that have betrayed your sponsoring organization, you know everything about what's going on, and you know who you're dealing with. You've got a vague idea of their capabilities, and you're going to kill them. That is your quest, to go in and assassinate a bunch of necromancers. Good luck. And but another one is like, yeah, you get invited to come hang out with your family in this new village that they've joined, and it's bounty day when our harvest is in, and everyone's making pies and turkeys and stuff like that. And when you get there, everyone's dead, but your family's missing, and there's clear tracks of undead coming from the forest and going back into the forest. So your characters follow, and they follow the tracks to this necromantic hell space, and then they start they start chewing bubblegum and kicking ass, and they eventually find your family, their friends and family that have been captive, plan to be sacrificed for this necromancy ritual, and so you want to kill the necromancers and rescue your family and put an end to all this evil doing. But then, if we're going to mix plot lines, it could be that one of your family members is actually an assassin that got caught trying to infiltrate this place, and you don't know this. But they actually want you around because you're powerful characters, and they want more muscle protecting the community that they've been hiding inside of the village at the edge of the forest for the past year, while they've been eyeing this place as a potential target to develop as a magical asset for the 12. So like your character can be like, that's their real identity, and they've been faking themselves. Like, I mean, they're actually your family, but you don't know they have this secret identity, and they could spring that on you at some point if you need to as a DM to make a beat work. But your characters are going in to kill this place to do a vengeance thing, and your NPC family is actually like, no, we need to keep this thing going. Our boss is going to come by and replace the necromancers that are currently sustaining the place. We just want them to keep going until the replacement crew gets here, but we fucked up communication, so we really need you to rescue us. And instead of them being all excited about getting out of there and getting safe, they're like, hold on. And like, they're going through the facility like they have it fucking memorized. Because they do, because they're spies. And they're looking for, like, they want to activate a teleportation circle so a wet work team can come in. And they're like, leave my family alone. We're on our way out of here. And they're like showing up with kill wands and shooting down anybody that's like, they're just completely killing the entire facility. And they're like, don't worry about it. And then you're gonna be like, are we okay with necromancers like setting up shop in this neighborhood? Are we just gonna walk away from this? Or, and like, your family offers you a job. Hey, do you want to work with us? It was amazing that you showed up. I did not expect that. You guys have a knack, you always have, for being at the right place at the right time, and we can use your skills. Would you like to work for a secret assassin organization? And if the answer is yes, you're now in the middle of doing wet work team operations, and you can be doing heist missions and assassination missions for the rest of your campaign, going from level 8 on. Okay, I think this one's done. Let's check it real quick. Looks good. I'm gonna put a little more bright in this corner here. There. But yeah, that's the next thing that we're working on, is like playing with how you can mix these two things together, and just provide some fun examples of, like, if you like, those are 2 plot hook. That was plot hook 5. That was alternate plot hook number 5, friends and family, blended in with plot hook number 1, Ader, the 12 requisitions team. Or I'm sorry, the 12 assessors. That's what it is, I believe. So you start with one hook and it turns into another hook, and you're using different. It becomes a different hook, or your character can just, or you know, the DM. It'd be more fun if the DM revealed that their family's a spy. So that's like a real obvious one to go to. I can't imagine you having that seeded in the adventure and not deciding to pull the trigger on it when the moment comes up. Like, that would just be like such a lost opportunity. So I think that's a great idea. But if you don't want that, like if you want to be like, if you're using the sheriff plot hook, you would have to then decide whether you want to arrest your family or not. So having them be spies and revealing themselves as spies to your characters, that'd be a really bad idea, because now they have to fight. Now they potentially have to fight the wetwork team and your family, and that's a nasty situation. But you could keep that as a real plot point, and they just recognize that you have a badge, you have authority. They don't want to tell you who the fuck they are. They're gonna play dumb and pretend that you're the family, and then maybe sneak out after they help you, return home. They'll sneak out, go back to the facility, activate the teleportation circle now that they know what they're dealing with, and maybe the team catches them out or something like that, and then reveals it, or who knows. But if they think that the team, the characters would potentially arrest them, that their family wouldn't reveal themselves, but that whole community there could be a dummy. It could be a fake village full of secret agents that are specifically keeping their eye on this area because of that necromancy power source that's nearby. So it could be like a whole, like Twin Peaks sort of thing. If that's the kind of game that if you're going to add it to part of an ongoing campaign and you want to base stuff here, like, that's a crazy level of intrigue that doesn't necessarily need a lot of combat if you really want to get into that, focusing on characters in the community, like I said, like Twin Peaks. That's why I said Twin Peaks, because it's like, really, Twin Peaks is more about interviewing weird characters and them having all sorts of sketchy shit going on. You could add like levels of sketchy shit to the community if they're all spies. So they got whacked, but they're maintaining their cover. I think that feels really good. We're gonna keep that one. That's number 3. So here's number 1. Let's stack those up. Here's number 1, and here's number 2, and here's number 3. Let's get rid of that one. Yeah, these all feel pretty fun. So I'm gonna duplicate this layer here. I'm gonna go with base plate 5. I saw Monkey Man, the movie Monkey Man, over the weekend, and it has pacing and good combat like the Raid, the second Raid movie. The Raid 2, man, the Raid and the Raid 2 are fucking freaking fantastic films. And Monkey Man has a very similar vibe, mobster underworld, black market type stuff. 2-bit prize fighter finds a way to avenge his family who was wronged by a politician, so takes advantage of the opportunity and wreaks much havoc on many people. Pacing is good. The level of intrigue and environment integration is excellent. Really feels like an underworld sort of environment, kind of like how John Wick has its secret assassin society, but this is more around like India slums, how fencing organizations and information brokers work in these slum cities, and it's super fucking cool just watching that interaction. Very much worth your, like, if you're into D&D or if you're into any kind of urban environmental like Shadowrun or like Cyberpunk, Ravnica. God, what's the there's the Hearth. That's what it's called. All these just massive CD city sort of narratives and settings. This is such a great movie for you to really get a good vibe about how these how these criminal organizations operate and how they utilize resources and people. Super cool. Anyway, worth your time. Good movie. Play with shapes and colors. This is fun. Good times. Oh, I love that. That looks so cool. I'm sure this is going to be good. Yeah. Yep, that's good. All right, cool. I like that one a lot. That one looks really, really neat. So that was number 4. Was that number 4? Yeah. So we're working on number 5 now. Duplicate. This will be number 6. I'm gonna miss Monday nights. We'll be back. We'll be back in about. Well, we'll be doing playtests, but it's not gonna. I do not stream playtests. I playtests. No, that is not for the people that are designing it. That is not the place for streaming. If you put out a role-playing game or supplement and people want to play test it and demonstrate how it goes as a live stream, that is totally their business. The people that built the book have supposedly completed the project. It should be able to stand up to a live session, right? But if you're still designing it and you don't know if it stands up to a live session or not, then you're basically putting your worst foot forward, demonstrating a failure, which is what you need to succeed. But if you're offering this as a product of entertainment, it doesn't. I don't think it instills confidence. Even if logically you have to fail to succeed, watching somebody grind their gears against a system and realize mid-game, hey, we're having a problem here, this isn't working, and it just derails the experience of watching somebody engage in a task. And watching people engage in a task like reading to themselves and not speaking out loud because they're trying to do math and stuff isn't fun. It isn't fun. So it is not good. Playtesting is not good stream content. So that is why I will be absent from stream starting next week, probably until the beginning of September. So that means that I will likely be shifting this to my Saturday morning project. Once we get the playtest up and running, I shouldn't have to worry about spending too much time on it as a DM out of game. It should be able to fly itself. If campaigns keep doing how I hope they do. So I'll be able to sustain the campaign from the DM side during the Tuesday and Friday lunch sessions that we hold. I'll basically just be able to do a DM diary update and contemplate next moves and hash out stuff. We'll see. That's the intention. If I have to eat some Saturday to do that stuff, then so be it. But playtesting is absolutely critical. So I relish the time that I spend on stream doing stuff and talking shop and stuff. But if you think this stuff is cool, sign up for a playtest. If you got time to hang out with me when I'm on a live stream, those are the times in which I either get the live stream or I get the playtest. And if I'm going to take design work seriously, the shit's got to work. So obviously playtesting is really important. So it's a worthy sacrifice for the gains that for the success that we will reap as a result of our endeavor. Be like that. And then I hear you, baby. Thank you. Was that 1 hour? Yep. We're doing really, really good. the brushes and the setting, the custom brushes and the settings for them are calibrated to duplicate the wet on wet technique that Bob Ross uses when he's using whatever. I've done over 100, I think I've done like 120 of his paintings, learning how to do this in Photoshop. That was a really fun process. Really taught me control over environmental art. I'm really happy with it. Great. I invested about 18 months learning how to do that. And it was time really well spent. That was like, I think like 2016, 2015 and 2016. That's when I learned Bob Ross for digital painting. They weren't interested. Their goal is to sell paint and brushes, and digital removes the need for either. So they weren't very interested in my offer to stream, to build a certification program for Photoshop with Bob Ross. I think there's a thing there, but their marketing team doesn't like the idea, so I let it go. But I can't get certified as a Bob Ross painter because I don't see color. I can't blend colors at all, and that's why I only do digital painting. I can do pen and ink and pencil and stuff in a doodle book, sure, but if I want to color, it has to be digital because I can't figure it out otherwise. At least in digital, I can import samples of color from that match the look that I want. And I spent some time on that, I think like 2 or 3 sessions ago, really going into the specifics of how that stuff works. So you can check that out. And when I get around to it again, I'll talk about it again and we'll see how that works. That looks pretty cool. I feel like it's missing some sort of depth though. I'm gonna just when I'm on the bus in transit or in line and stuff, I play. I use chess.com. I don't have. I'm not registered yet. I'm not to the point where I want to start paying for it, but I'm getting there. Just about gotten myself to a 1500 elo, and I think I'll be happy if I get myself to 2000. But it'll take a little while for me to do it. But I haven't played chess in a long time. My muse told me that I need to start thinking, like thinking moves ahead again, and the best way for me to be able to do that is to get into chess. So she led me to chess.com, an easy app. God damn, I am hungry. I don't want to eat this late though. It's 8:30. It's too late for food. I'm just gonna have to starve myself out for the night. Huh. Nope, that's the wrong color. That's the only little pop-up. It just looked kind of smudgy over here. I don't want that to hang. So I just wanted to add some highlight to help crisp it up a little bit. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Ow. There we go. Okay, cool. I like that now. Duplicate. This will be base plate number 7. Last one that remained. I just went really quiet. You know, maybe it will be a good idea for me to go ahead and clip short a little bit tonight. We'll, maybe if I can get the mixed plot lines resolved tonight, I'll share that tomorrow while I'm doing some trees. Oh, I like this one. This one looks really cool. Good. Now we'll do some sharp highlights over it. Oh god, this is looking really, really cool. I don't really visualize this stuff. I just kind of like have like a feeling. Like I think it'd be cool if I put a dollop over here and worked it. And more often than not, the answer is yes, it is. So I've learned just to follow my gut on where to drop stuff and make things look cool. That's kind of how you develop your style. Like you have your own sense of ratios and like your contrast balance and how saturated you make your colors and all that stuff. Like these are all things that define your style that you can't really define, and like you can see it in time, it emerges, but your style is the solutions that you create to the problems you have of not knowing how to accurately depict something that you're attempting to put on, you know, to visualize, to create content with. God, that looks really cool. Just gonna leave that like that. Fuck, I like that. I can clean up the edge at least. Alright, merge down. God, I love that. That looks so cool. Pudding proof. Yeah, all the eyes sit really nicely on top of that. Stone was too. Looks really good. Fun stuff. Fucking fun stuff. Alright, last one. And then we'll call it quits for the night. And I'm gonna get some plot hook stuff going on. I'm going to do another fade like I did with the last one. I like that pit. In fact, yeah. So cool. I love like it's not impressionist because I'm not really taking off anything, just it's almost surrealistic. This feels good. Maybe it is impressionist. I am trying to like have a sense of feeling that goes into it, and it is my impression of the atmospheric pictures that I've already seen from Vocath. So maybe I can get away with saying this is impressionism. I love how that looks. Let's fade it a bit so it sinks in. Out off that Like there's like a diffused dirty light is shining over here, and it just kind of gives up on focusing on the edges. I love that. It feels like such a tired light. Oh god, that's so cool. Oh, I love that. I love that. So pretty. It looks so cool. All right. That one's good too. I'm sure. course, the birds don't have to be arranged like this. They can be arranged any way you want. It's just this fills the space. Dropping down to a lower opacity or a lower strength smudge to blend it, like the fluff, to floof it up a little bit more gentle wisp. Get rid of those edges. Soften the whole structure a little bit. It's a little bit too hard. Zoom in a little bit and just tough that the edges a little bit, like just smooth it down a little. We're essentially done with these. Now I'm just screwing around a little bit. So we'll be back on Thursday night. I'm going to be back tomorrow morning. I'm here 10 times per week. Monday through Friday in the morning, I do the Everon stuff. On Tuesdays and Monday through Friday, Everon maps in the morning. On Monday night, for a while, I'm going to be off screen. I'll be doing play testing for the Martial Power System on my Discord. You're welcome to come by the Discord and hang out if you want. More than welcome. I think there's a link down below. And on Tuesdays and Fridays, so on Monday I won't be around, but on Thursdays I'll be doing like stuff like this, the Martial Power, the Spelljammer Vocath Complete Battle Maps. And now that the assets are done, I'll be switching over specifically to doing the math on the fleets, looking at the action economy that the elves have, looking at tactics, and just breaking it down. If I'm happy with the math and the ratios, then we'll throw together a playtest team. That could be on a Thursday night or it could be a Saturday morning. I'm not sure which, but generally I only have time to do stuff on Monday nights, Thursday nights, and Saturday mornings. That's like the only blocks of time I have to either stream or playtest stuff. So when I don't have anything on playtesting, I stream. And so basically the only reason why I'm not streaming is because I'm playtesting. There you go. And then Monday lunch, I have my home team, my home table where I DM. And we're playing an Everon Spelljammer mashup campaign. Good over here in general, yeah. Getting rid of some of those hard edges. Look at those curves, those overly straight lines look like pixels. Looks like a digital brush mark. That I want to get rid of those. Those are called artifacts. I want to get rid of artifacts so it's less obvious where the pin strokes are. Like that was a glob of paint. It needed to be smudged in. Another glob of paint needs to be smudged in. Good. Save. Conceal that. I'm going to dive back into this one real quick. Just make sure there's no... Yeah, see, that can be toughed it out. Get rid of the artifacts. Make it nice and real. You gotta go where I see it, otherwise I might not ever see it again. Someone else will. Over here, see the back edge too. Needs to be smooth in. These are looking pretty good. I did a pretty good job with these. The other one must have just been rushed a little bit. There. Oh man, that looks really fucking good. Alright, I'm gonna let that one go. That one looks nice. How about you, buddy? How you doing over here? Break that up a bit. Don't need a lot though, just a touch. Yeah, I see it here. This definitely needs some work. Oh, we're doing this. Worthwhile. Good. All right, we'll let that one sit. Next. Oh, God, this is super cool. Again, looking good. There we go. Worthwhile. Super cool. Alright, we're done enough for you. You, what do you need? Poof, what do you need? Poof, what do you need? Poof, what do you need? Possibly nothing. You're pretty stylish over here, buddy. Good. How's about you? Look how saturated this is with sameness. Like the later we got in these pieces, like the more contrast and action. This one doesn't need a lot of work, that's for sure. And you? Like, check this out. Here's the difference. Like, this is the one that we're looking at here. This is the first one we did. And here's the last one we did. Like, it's much more sharp contrast that we're seeing as like proceeded through the series. Like, that one's got some really great contrast going to it. These are cool, man. I like the variety, though. I like that some of them are subdued and some of them are more radical and highlight. I like the dichotomy. It allows for you to do what you want. Oh, fuck, this is so cool. All right, I'm gonna use that one. Nope. All right. Nope. Honestly, I think that one's my favorite. So leave that be for now. We got our grid. We got our background. Cool. Okay, so that's all of the map assets that we need. We're actually done. Oh wait, there's we have to do Vocath's. We have to do Vocath's throne, his guards, his servant staff, and we already have tokens for all the attendees. Technically, we have a token for Vocath, just not for his ally, his staff. And his servants. So I think we need to do that. But otherwise we're doing pretty good. So I think I might save those shenanigans for Saturday. Not this Saturday. The following once we drop off, like 2nd, I think. The 3rd. Yeah, it'd be the 3rd. Saturday the 3rd. That's when we'll start doing the ally token, the NPC tokens. Forgot about those. But otherwise, we're doing great. So, all right, that's it for now, guys. I'm going to bounce out of here. I'm going to be back in the morning in about 9 hours. We'll be back on doing more Eberron cartography. I'm going to see if I can get some text done now before I crash out. I will see you guys all in the morning. So thanks a lot for checking this out. Cheers.